Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to some more Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord War Sales. Now, War Sales itself has been out for just under a week now, so I thought it'd be a good idea to basically run through all the brand new patches that they've been releasing since obviously release day, as well as release day itself, because that did get a new beta patch with some cool stuff being implemented alongside War Sales. So yeah, I thought I'd take a little break from my Let's Play. Don't worry, it will be back tomorrow for those of you who are enjoying it, and just run through all the new changes so we can see what they're looking to change and maybe talk about some stuff we'd like to see changed in the future. So first things first, we can start off with these absolutely beautiful backgrounds right here. They look incredible, and if we remove some of the UI as well, you can see it in all of its glory. These are some very nice wallpapers I wouldn't mind having. There is also this brand new one right here, and then finally the last Empire one that has been implemented right here. They all look amazing, and honestly the new interactive main menu screens are awesome. Just give us an option to actually pick the one we want. I kind of understand that it's not really a priority because how long do you spend on this screen, but it would just be really nice to be able to flick between them. I believe Blocker's already made a mod to allow you to do that if you want to, and also actually fix the weird FPS issue that's here. But yeah, I mean, they look incredible. Just let us like flip between them because they are great. On top of all of that, we also had a brand new patch as well coming alongside Bannerlord. So this is the beta version 1.3.4 that actually released alongside when patch 1.3 went live alongside, and it implemented some pretty cool stuff. So the main thing which we want to take a look at is this one right here. So if we highlight it, we can see add post knockout troop takeover. So it allows you to take direct control of any troop after getting knocked out in battle and siege missions. You can take control of any free agent excluding companions with at least 25 health who aren't not using a machine, so basically aren't on an artillery, moving a siege piece equipment. And this is honestly something that we have been asking for so long. It's like mainly one of the reasons I use RTS camera is so that when I die in a massive 1,000-man battle, I can keep on playing it. It is a real shame though that they've for some reason nerfed it to exclude companions. Like, I just don't see why not. Yeah, maybe don't give me access to the other people's armies, but my companions in my armies, why can't I play as them? It seems a little bit weird that they have kind of nerfed it, and it's like such a good change, but they're just like, oh no, you can't have everything that's really good. You can only have a little bit of good in your campaign, guys. So yeah, like overall, it's an awesome change, and I'm glad we finally got it. Granted, I'm gonna probably still be using RTS camera for the zoom out camera and other things along those lines, but it's nice to see those people on like console be able to get access to this now as well, which I think is quite big. And then when they do implement features like this that I can just mod in, I think it's always nice for people who do play on console. So yeah, this new change is going to be great for those of you, so you can actually fight out more battles and get stuck into more engagements. That's really the only major change that came in the 1.3.4 beta. So again, the release patch for War Sales, not too much else. They increased some prices and other things that aren't really that interesting. Added obviously the new campaign movements that we've already seen right here. They also improved combat skills of nobles as well. I don't really see that being affected the game too much. They also decreased the overall bow damage. I don't think anybody's noticed that either. I still getting like taking 40 damage from a bow across the map. So yeah, bows are still seriously a problem. But besides that, oh yeah, they also as well moved the player damage received, which is really weird. This used to be in the game settings or when you started your campaign. They've moved it to the gameplay options right here instead of the campaign options which you choose in game. So you can adjust this to go easy, like obviously very easy, realistic, and for like a good like couple hours whilst I was playing the game, I was just playing on very easy and not realizing that I was playing on very easy because they moved it. So if you're like, oh yeah, I took a headshot with a blade and I took 20 damage, then it's probably a good idea to come in here and make sure you are set on realistic damage if that's how you want to play, because yeah, I was taken completely off guard by this and it just seems like a very random switch, but I guess it's a good old Tailworld switch where they just move stuff for no real reason, but I guess it makes sense in their back end. Next part of the patches, so again, nothing much really happened in patch 1.1 for War Sales. Again, they reduced the campaign HP for the Father's ship storyline mission, which I think a lot of people were like ramming it like 70 times and it just not dying. So they've gone ahead and nerfed that in that patch. Then we move on to the big boy right here, patch 1.0.2 for War Sales. And finally, the Nords have received a huge bonus to their armors and also their helmets and their arms and a whole wealth of other things which they so desperately needed. So if we come over to actually in-game to take a look at the new Nord armors, you can already start to see the Nord Huskell, which is the strongest Nord infantry noble unit right here, and I think the only infantry noble unit in the game has finally actually gotten a good piece of armor, headgear, shoulders, everything else. Previously, these guys were running around with, I think, about 30 armor, and then they buffed it to 40, and that still just was not enough. So now they actually have a proper gilded noble armor piece, 52 armor, a really nice weight level, 8 armor on the arms and 10 on the legs itself. This is finally an actually good infantry unit, even though they had okay, like good stats, because again, there's no other infantry noble unit in the game, which meant that these guys would always outclass people like Imperial Legionaries, who have, I think, around about 140 one-handed and 140 athletics, etc. And now these guys have 200 one-handed, 160 athletics, and 190 throwing, which is really good. Still end up actually losing to Legionaries because they would have like 30 armor, I think, and their helmet was also really bad. I think they had the bear helmet as well, which is 20 armor. Granted, the base tier infantry for the Nord still have this bear armor right here, which is 22. It's going to just make them so vulnerable. But yeah, now that the Nord Huskells actually have good armor, this 52 armor is going to make them really, really tanky. And now they also all have all different helmets. We are still missing gloves on this last unit of Nord Huskell set right there, which is a little bit weird that they've not got that. But again, the other arm on them is actually good. We go back on the other tiers as well. These guys now have the original, the second upgraded armor, because they originally had, I believe, this piece of armor on their highest tiers, which is like 30 armor. Then they got upgraded to this one on the Huskells, and now obviously they have this one. But yeah, even the tier 4s are looking pretty good, and the most important thing, I think, is that they have a good helmet. Even on the tier 4s as well, these bad boys, they have a good helmet, because that's one of the most annoying things. And I think something that a lot of us was finding with the Nord roster was that you'd get an army and they just all keep on dying. It's because they were getting headshot by javelins and missiles, and that has a much higher chance of actually killing out a soldier outright. So when they had a bad helmet, they were just dying constantly. You had to keep on replenishing them and starting from scratch, and it was just really frustrating. Even the lower tiers as well have 23 armor, which is as much as the base tier best Nord non-noble unit, which is kind of funny. And yeah, and then these lower tiers are obviously aren't very good, but again, that's fine. Like, they still have, you know, okay armor, which is funny as well, because like this is like the best armor of the normal Nord units right here. But yeah, they've had a massive improvement. These noble units now are all of a sudden a unit I would go out of my way to get. I was saying previously, I would never go out of my way to get this unit compared to like Britannian Thanes or Imperial Legionaries or Kuzai Khan's Guard or Valandian Banner Knights. Now all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I probably want to go take my boat to Sturgia, to the Nordlands to actually go and recruit a bunch of these Nord Huskells, because yeah, they're incredible. They have a good stats, they're throwing weapons, they still have throwing axes. Axes still kind of suck in the game, unfortunately. I'm not sure if it's because they're cut damage instead of pierce damage like javelins are, or if they're missile speed or whatever. I don't know what it is, but yeah, axes still kind of suck, which isn't good. But still, you can stack some bonuses with your own throwing, take command of the unit, and then you can kind of make them kind of good at smashing down shields and stuff, because realistically that's what the axes should be good at, is breaking shields apart very effectively. So hopefully, you know, maybe we'll see a buff to them in the future. As I mentioned as well, we did also receive a bit buff to the base troop tree as well. So I believe this armor as a whole is, no, this armor is still, I think this was the original armor that they had, and now the Nord Berserkers actually have a 42-piece Nordic heavy mail armor, which again has been a big improvement. Originally, I believe it was like 25 armor, and it was just, yeah, embarrassing. They still again have that helmet, which I don't know, I just don't like that this high tier unit just does not have a decent helmet. I could kind of like, I feel like these two should be switched, right? I feel like this guy, who is just a sword and board type of dude, he does actually have a berserker axe on his back, but I don't think they'll be using it because Bannerlord doesn't really do well with switching weapons. So I think for the most part he's going to be using the sword and shield. Like, he should be having this helmet, and then vice versa, this guy should be having that helmet because he's more of a two-handed berserker. Again, more gameplay wise rather than anything else, it is kind of good that this guy does have this big helmet so that he won't be getting one shot, considering he doesn't have a shield, so that is going to give him some survivability. But yeah, I don't know, this is kind of cool. I don't know, just maybe buff this helmet a little bit, give it like 30 head armor and I would be happy. 22 is just way too vulnerable in my opinion. Again, and it just kind of feels bad that you're regressing. You're like, oh, this guy has a 54 armor, which I think is actually if not the same, if not, yeah, it's better. That 54 armor on that tier 3 unit, tier 4 unit is actually better than the Nordhuskel right here, which is, yeah, I don't know, like, that is funny. That is actually really funny. Like, why I kind of almost don't want to upgrade. Like, the stat difference is a little bit, but not massively. The chest armor is obviously a big upgrade here, going up to 42. But yeah, that helmet is just still painful. But yeah, that's just, again, my opinion. I don't know, maybe some more adjustment there would be nice. On top of all of them changes as well, we also got, again, Fardo's ship being reduced its HP even more. So those of you struggling in the campaign tutorial, which I actually still have not played yet, will hopefully not be suffering too much. Then as we make our way into Bannerlord War Sales patch 1.0.3, we also then got some changes to the Boatswain experience gain as well, because yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but the Boatswain experience and also the ship mastery experience was just so low. It was basically given non-existence experience. Like, I think in my campaign, but I spent close to like 15 hours in, I'm like at the first perk of all of them. So yeah, definitely some adjustments needed, and also some explanations, I guess, on how to get them, get the experience up a little bit. The repairing ship experience right here is actually really, really nice, because this will be something that you're going to be doing pretty much all the time. Even if it's just small increments, it's going to be important. And then also as well, if you wanted to focus on this skill, which I don't see why you wouldn't, because it is really, really nice, you know, you can also repair the ships that you capture as well. Spend a little bit of money, but you're gaining experience that will help you. So it's kind of like a nice way of like farming that, and also, you know, you're then selling the ships that you've repaired for maybe a little bit of a loss, but you're still making cash overall. They've also obviously come in with a whole wealth of other crash fixes and other improvements that's going to be kind of the truth throughout. And then the final one we got right here in patch 1.0.4 for War Sales. The most important thing right here is they have indeed increased the cargo capacity for all ships. That was something I did kind of notice was a bit of a problem. I also didn't mind it though, because I kind of liked the idea of having to have like a supply trade ship along with the rest of your fleet. Now you're not necessarily going to need that as much. Like, yeah, I don't think necessarily you're going to need that as much, just because, again, all the other ships have had their capacity improved. So yeah, as I said, it kind of was a cool idea that you had a supply ship along with the rest of your fleet, but you just obviously did not have to bring into battle. They've also, as well, given the Valandian and Sturgian Marine troops actual cultural appropriate shields as well to help them out. They've also reduced the bow skill of Fian champions and also Khan's Guard, which seems a bit out of left field. Like, Britannia don't, I mean, to be fair, Britannia are holding their own in the new War Sales map. Like, I've not seen them ever get crushed at all. It's more the Azerai now that are kind of getting slammed from every single side. Valandia, Southern Empire, Western Empire are all going for them, because I haven't touched them quite yet, but I'm sure they will at some point in my campaign. But yeah, so Britannia and Fian, I mean, I still think they're going to be absolutely fine. They've kind of buffed the accuracy of archers in general in the code, just like by default, not by stats. So maybe this was needed. Oh yeah, sorry as well, I missed it out. Speaking of nerfs on Fians and other OP units, if we go back to patch 1.0.2, right here, they massacred my boys. The Britannian Marines, for a split second, were absolutely insane. They've nerfed the Britannian Marines javelins. They had 2 stacks of Jareed javelins, which are the best javelins in the game. They have insane pierce damage, and the Britannian Marines had really good skills. So they were just able to lob them in and just do devastating damage. Like, these would one-shot some of the best units in the game, especially if you had some good skills you were applying to your unit of javelins. It was just insane. So they have nerfed them. They've also nerfed the Azerai Marine troops as well. They've changed their bow from the best bow in the game to a different one as well. So they're a little bit less effective, which is a shame. I like the battalions having them Jareed units, but they were just so deadly. They really, really were. And it's not like them units are like bad by any means. They're still good, they're just not as insane as they once were. So that is going to do it for today's video. It's going to be a rundown of all the new patches and updates. Again, all of these are save game compatible as well, so if you don't have to start a new campaign if you want to get the brand new Nord armors and stuff. That should just apply to your campaign. Unfortunately, there has not been any news on fast mode being implemented to consoles. I know that was a big thing a lot of people wanted on consoles, and yeah, there hasn't been any talk about that being implemented, which is a a shame. Also, we don't have Nords actually in custom battle either right now. We have them in naval battles, but we don't have them in, if we switch over to land battles, we don't have them. Apparently, this is to do with the way that they've done the DLC as a module rather than implementing it into the base game. They have said that it is planned to have the Nords transition into custom battles in the future, but it's not a immediate priority, which again I think is a little bit of a shame. It would have been nice to have them in here so we could mess around with some of their units, do some unit testing and other things along those lines. But overall, I'm actually really happy with where War Sales is going. Obviously, we're going to be getting a bunch of patches and they're going to slow down after release. I'm really happy that they are patching. There's some people, you know, I'm sure modders and other people are kind of annoyed that the game is being patched constantly because it's breaking stuff. But I think, you know, at the beginning of the release of the DLC, they need to address these issues. The Nord units being as low armor as they were is unacceptable. People would probably rage quit the campaign if they didn't fix it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's great that they're hearing this feedback, and that Nord change was very quick as well. So it was a lot of people complaining about it, and they did address it very quickly. So I'd much rather that than, you know, kind of a Total War style with no talking for a month and then boom, a patch that has been forced out of them. So yeah, again, it is annoying that we're getting patched constantly. It's going to keep on messing up mods and stuff, but you know, it's much better this way than no talking for a month and then boom, a bunch of things that may be a little bit outdated or whatever. So yeah, I really appreciate Tailworld's listening to people and taking that feedback on board. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. It really helps out the channel. Campaign will continue again tomorrow, so if you're looking forward to that and enjoying that, then obviously tune in. On top of all of that as well, I will be doing a mod list video probably on Wednesday. Maybe we'll take a look at some of the new War Sales mods as well as other ones you should be implementing into your campaign and or are updated for War Sales itself. And I'll see you guys in the next one.